After yesterday's decision in Parliament, we want to find out what the Electoral Commission makes of the rejection of the November 7 or the 7th November date, which was rejected by the members of Parliament. And the EC has released a statement thanking the members of Parliament and the leadership and all parliamentarians for at least considering, debating, and then voting on it. The decision didn't seem to have gone in the favor of some persons, but we'll find out what the Electoral Commission makes of it. And we've been joined in studio by Mr. Eric Dzakpasu, Head of Communications for the Electoral Commission. He's with us here. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
All right. To start with, was the EC surprised by the decision?
Thank you very much. Not really surprised. You see, sending the bill to Parliament we're just doing the popular will. We're just doing the bid of the people of Ghana as represented by their stakeholders, the political parties, civil society, and media. There was a general consensus in this country that following the experiences we've had over the years when we have our elections on the 7th of December, we should not conveniently have it on the 7th of November. So the EC has always focused and prepared for the 7th of November. All that we were waiting for was Parliament to give the go-ahead that we could roll it over. But as servants of the public, out to serve the public good, if at the end of the day, in the wisdom of the Parliament, as a nation, we cannot do 7th November, but we should just revert and be as we used to do it on the 7th of December. We are very comfortable with it. We accept it, and we'll roll it out on the 7th of December.
Some have accused the Electoral Commission that there seemed to have been excessive delay in sending the bill on time. So probably if it had been sent earlier and there was this rejection, maybe there could have been enough time for a review. Do you accept this blame?
Not exactly. You see, as I said earlier, the sending of the bill to the Parliament had to be built around a consensus of all the major stakeholders. This shouldn't be made to appear as if the Electoral Commission on its own just decided at a point in time to take a bill, go to Parliament, and then push it down the throat of Ghanaians that we're going to have the bill elections on the 7th of November. Okay, we have in place an Electoral Reform Committee made up of the major stakeholders in the election exercise. So there was the need to get all of them to agree on the way forward, on exactly what we want to do as a nation. And building the consensus and finding the way forward was what we did within the given time period. Okay? So we did what must be done at the time that it should be done.
So, clearly the final issue is that it managed to go to Parliament. How was the decision, whether December 7 or November 7, but as it stands, it's going to be December 7. How was that decision, or whichever decision Parliament took, going to affect or fit into the EC's plans?
Okay, you know, every activity of the Electoral Commission, registration, exhibition, transfers, nominations, proxies, elections are all regulated and defined by law. It is not as if the Electoral Commission can just stand up and arbitrarily just fix a date for any activity. So if you're going to have your elections on the 7th of November, that will inform when to have your transfers, when to have your nominations, when to appoint proxies, even when to have your exhibition. Okay. So bearing in mind that we'll be having the elections on the 7th of November, a timetable was put in place to fit in with the 7th November date. So if now we're going to have it on the 7th of December, we only have to amend the timetable to just fit in with 7th of December. Okay,
so it is not, the current decision is not going to majorly shift or kick you out of gear in terms of your programming?
Not at all. If we had been preparing for 7th November, and suddenly they say have it on the 6th of September or 6th of October, then we could be talking about throwing your plans out of gear. But if 7th of November has been our focus, and we've been moving, gearing towards 7th of November, then they say now 7th December, so be it. It just builds some more flexibility into the time. Yeah.
Okay. Another information we got from the Electoral Commission in the last few days, that was actually this yesterday, was that so far you have verified 1 million persons who have gone to the exhibition centers to check their names. Just 1 million in the 3 days of the exercise. How were you able to come by this number?
Thank you very much. We have field operatives working at the various polling station exhibition centers. We have our district offices, we have the regional offices, and of course the head offices. The head office. Then we have the communication infrastructure. So on a daily basis, feedback comes from the field to the district offices, to the regions, and then finally to the head office. And because it's an exercise of such a magnitude, we are using 29,000 polling stations across this country. So constantly we are monitoring so as to be abreast of development. If there are any challenges, then we can activate our quick response systems. So it is through this infrastructure communication that we get our feedback. So that as at the close of the 3rd day, we realize that we've got about 1 million people, just a little bit about 1 million people who have gone to the station to verify. Okay. This is on a rather very low side. Nationwide, 1,000,003. And we are talking about 10 regions in this country. So if you disaggregate it to the various regions, we are talking about on the average 100 per region. And if you divide it by 3 days, then we are talking about 33.3 people to an exhibition.
To a region.
To a region.
In a day.
In a day, which is too much on the low side. So the essence of that release is to sensitize, is to let people aware that the response so far is not good. Okay? So that through the media, we are appealing that we let people know that we have only 21 days, okay, for the exercise. And if we have close to over 15 million people on the register, we expected a majority of them to go out and verify so that we can clean up the register. You see, we have constantly maintained that getting a credible register is a collective responsibility of all the major stakeholders. So we want to draw awareness to the fact that the response
numbers
so far
currently
is not the best, too low, and that we must all try and go and get involved.
Are you looking at hopefully that in the latter days a lot more people would go? Because you're told that Ghanaians are last minute people. That's something you're looking at.
You see, when you go out there and you go and ask, you know, it used to be 14 days, but we have made it 21 days now, so that even no matter how busy you are, you could manage a day somewhere along the line, maybe. So it means we have about, we're doing it on even Saturdays and then what? Sundays, so that people could try and then get there. But you go out in the street, rather they are telling you, oh, this time there's somewhere in 21 days. Being 21 days, there's more time will go. You see, and they tell you it's a typical Ghanaian attitude. You know, but when it comes to matters of elections, I think we need to be more up and doing. We need to be more serious.
All right, I would have to leave it here for now. Thank you very much,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And wish you, the Electoral Commission, all the best. We'll keep an eye on the various developments. And certainly we'll be bringing them back in studio as the election draws nigh to get further and better particulars from the Electoral Commission. We've been speaking with Mr. Eric Dzakpasu, Head of Communications for the Electoral Commission.